What's going on, everybody? Today we're talking about everybody's favorite franchise. I'm talking about Dragon Ball. Rock the Dragon. Rock the Dragon. So the reason I'm even making this video is because earlier today, I was triggered. I was triggered so bad that I decided to go home and make a video just to point out the opposite of what I was told. And what I was told was that in Dragon Ball, death does not matter. And you know what I said to that? Yeah, you're kind of right. It doesn't really matter. But then I thought about it. Then I thought about it for a while, and I kept thinking about it, and I decided to, rather than go back and tell that person why they were wrong, I decided to write a video and then record it, and then that person will never see the video. It doesn't matter what I did. The point is, I'm here to tell you why death does kind of matter in Dragon Ball. But before we do anything, the best way to not die, whether you are a Dragon Ball character, whether you are a normal human being, whether you're an alien, whether you're some kind of monkey warrior, a green, purple, blooded, whatever the fuck that is, whatever you are, the best way to not die is not by eating sensu beans on a daily basis. It's not by just avoiding the planets that happen to be blowing up all the time. It is by smashing that like button.
I don't even want you to smash that like button. I want you to Kameo wave that bitch right down there.
Scroll down, Kameo wave. So anyway, let's begin this discussion. You could probably tell already that the reason this person does not think death matters in Dragon Ball is because characters are brought back to life on the regular. Krillin's died like 10 times. Goku's died twice that many. I'm counting the heart virus. I'm counting alternate timelines. I'm counting the other times he actually died. The other times, like in the future, like in GT. And then the movies, yeah, people die a lot in this franchise. But death does still matter in Dragon Ball. I think it doesn't use death effectively enough because in normal TV shows, like, the characters who, like, kind of get lost in the sauce, they either die or they complete their arc and then they fuck off. Dragon Ball, despite being 1,000 episodes long, is like, oh, what? Oolong? You still want to be in the story? Emperor Pilaf? The whole gang still wants to be in episode 8,020? Yeah, just bring them along. They'll be a powerful addition to the cast, even though planets are fucking blowing up and we're tearing into universal dimensions and there's gods and there's whatever the hell. Yeah, it really needs Oolong to still be there. So that is my one complaint, that these characters should either die and not return, or like characters like Yamcha, like, become a baseball player, dude. Just do that. Just have like a filler episode where you become a baseball player, you hang up your boots, and then we don't see you ever again. That's all I need from you. But that's obviously not the Toriyama way. The way that the series works out is the whole gang just keeps bringing brought back to life, and there's arguably not a single main good guy character who stays alive. But we have to put this into context. Death does matter for at least the Saiyan saga, because at this point in time, the Dragon Balls can only bring back a character once. So when you think Chaozu dies, when Krillin dies, they've died before, so we assume that if they die for realsy. And Goku, when he comes back to fight Vegeta, you know, that whole fight we're thinking if Goku dies, he's dead for good, even though that's not the case. And then with the Namekian balls, we introduce the idea of, hey, even if you die once, you can come back to life, we just have to use the Namekian balls. And since there's an instant transmission now, Goku can just go over the fuck to Namek whenever he wants, and he can just pick up himself a set of Dragon Balls and be like, hey, my cat died today, let's call up the dragon and he can solve all my problems. Goku doesn't have a cat. Nobody in Dragon Ball has a cat. Well, that's not true. She's a cat. Dr. Brief, he has a cat. So there's cats in Dragon Ball. Yajirobe, he arguably has his own cat. It's just a little bit different of a dynamic there. But within the Namek saga, we're not thinking about that because we're just trying to get out. We're trying to escape this planet that's about to blow up. We're not worrying about like the logistics of these Dragon Balls. It's only after the fact when Krillin, after his dramatic death, after setting the trigger for Super Saiyan, he's just brought back to life. And it's like, okay, I guess now it doesn't matter. But oh wait, it still matters, because the death following the Frieza saga, sure, there's Trunks who gets brought back to life right away, but the stakes for Cell Saga forward is always life-threatening. When Cell is about to blow up the planet, he's about to blow up the fucking planet with the Dragon Balls and anyone who would care to use them with it. There's no restoring it with the Namekian balls, because no one on Namek even knows what's going on Earth. And then with the Buu saga, he's going to obviously blow up the Namek balls and all that shit. So obviously the stakes are real there. And look who dies in the Cell saga. There's Goku, who stays dead for dozens and dozens and dozens of episodes. His death matters. And then there's Android 16, who, guess what? He's not brought back to life. He's still dead. And then we look into Super, and a lot of Super, yeah, it doesn't matter, but then there's also parts where, again, we're talking about universal consequences. So obviously the Namekian Dragonballs would be destroyed under universal consequences. So even though there are moments where our characters aren't really in trouble, the majority of the series, whatever the stakes were before the universal, like, life-shattering retcon of being able to bring anyone back to life, that doesn't apply when the entire universe is at stake. And when I think about all the characters who have died since the Namekian Dragon Balls were introduced, a lot of them still have effects even if they are brought back to life. Future Trunks' death triggered the whole Vegeta character building. All the characters that Majin Buu killed when he, destroyed planet Earth, that had an effect on you no matter what. And then we had Majin Buu's dog dying. That had an effect on Majin Buu. When Hercule was roaming the planet by himself, that had an effect on him. When all of Goku's friends died, he's like, yeah, let me get back to Earth and I'm not gonna fuck around anymore. We're gonna kill this Majin Buu guy. It's not a game anymore. And then in GT, when Piccolo dies, he doesn't get to come back to life. He gets to stay in hell and rot for eternity because, I guess, he pissed off one of the writers or something. And while we're on GT, look at what Baby did. What Baby did was something that the Dragon Balls were not going to fix. Once you mind manipulate every single one of our heroes, that doesn't matter. It's not like Goku and the gang can just transport to Namek and try to fix it in time. No, they are going to die or they are going to be mind enslaved. The stakes are still real there. Not only that, but in GT they said if you use these Dragon Balls too much, they're not gonna work anymore. So we would assume that would apply with the Namek Balls as well. So in GT, the whole death situation especially matters. And I just think it's so funny that all the arguments against Dragon Ball, all the memes, the tropes, all of them that get thrown in Dragon Ball's face, a lot of them really are true, but a large majority, like, oh, Goku wins all the time. No, he doesn't. He gets his ass kicked all the time. He gets killed by fucking Raditz, he gets beaten by Majin Vegeta, he gets beat by Beerus, he gets beat by Baby. Goku is a losing machine. He just wins at the end, hi computer. And that's why people get this perception that he wins all the time. The idea that death doesn't matter in Dragon Ball only comes into the fact when we think, hey, you can, if you want to, revive everybody, but when can they revive everybody? Is it when the entire universe is blown up? Because it's not going to happen at that point. I'm going to end this video just by pointing out the Tournament of Power. Within the Tournament of Power, there is no even conception or idea of using any of the Dragon Balls to solve your problems. What happened within the Tournament of Power, which lasted for dozens of episodes, was all real, was all genuine, and when people died or were... There's a character who is teased to have died. When all of this stuff happens, you feel it, and that's what really matters. If death didn't matter in Dragon Ball, then those feelings wouldn't exist. And I know some of the people who clicked on this video thinking, why does the title say death does not matter in Dragon Ball when he went on to explain why it does matter? Because I like to keep you on your toes. Because I know by luring you in with these false conceptions that will make you angry and thus proving you and me right, it will create that dopamine effect in your brain and you will continue to watch my videos. Gotcha! Anyway, I'm gonna close out this video now. Thank you for watching another video, and you can subscribe if you would like more Dragon Ball content. I plan to make a lot of these things because, you know, I love me some DBZ. I can't even say DBZ anymore. It's like DBS, DB, DBGT, DBH, DB Kai, DB... There's a lot of these things. God, I cannot keep up. Oh yeah, and subscribe and shit. And with that, I leave you.